Okay, so in Mark 6, Jesus gathers his disciples. He's going to send them out, and he says, "Now, I don't want you to take anything except for pretty much what you have on," which normally in that day for a guy was the sandals, head wrap. They wore a tunic, which was their undergarment, which was basically a sheet sewn around the edges with head and arms cut out of it, and then a robe, which also doubled as a blanket. And then their staff or their rod, and they were not supposed to carry any money in their belts. Oh, and they had a girdle. They could wear a girdle, not the kind that we think of these days, but the girdle was like a piece of leather or cloth that was wrapped around them, and they could. It served many purposes. They could tuck their robe and tunic in it in case they needed to run or climb or do battle, and the girdle also held knives, or you could put your sword in it, and sometimes money in their little money bag. And they weren't supposed to take anything in their money bag either. And the cool thing is money bags, so sometimes those guys would make money bags out of a kid goat. And the cool thing is many times out of that kid goat they would leave it in the same shape. They just kind of skinned it, treated it, sewed it up, left a hole in it or something. But I mean, legs, neck, head, everything was still on it, which I guess is probably the most manliest kind of purse that anybody can have in the shape of a goat. So anyway, he said, don't take anything except these things. And I got to thinking, that is a no plan B kind of directive. There's no backup plan whatsoever. And it reminded me of when Elijah called Elisha to come and follow him into the ministry. And Elisha was a farmer. He was plowing. And he took the call so seriously, some say that in order not to even be tempted to come back to the farming career, he sacrificed his oxen, killed the oxen, fed people in the village, and then said goodbye to everybody, and then went on to be with Elijah in the ministry. No plan B, no backup plan. And here's something that I'm guilty of many times. God calls me to a ministry in a direction, but I've been in this direction. I've been doing this ministry for a while. And so in my mind, I want to say, well, okay, let's test the water kind of thing. And I hold on to this ministry, or I hold on to my backup plan, my plan B, but they begin to lead different directions. And pretty soon I'm horizontal, trying to do what God has called me to do, yet keeping a hold of this backup plan. So my encouragement for you today is, if God is calling you to do anything particular, because we all have callings, we all have equippings. So if God is calling you to something particular, sometimes it's best just to let go and go all in. God is an all-in type of God. He loves that. God was all in for you, and He requests that you be all in for Him. And think about it. What's the worst that could happen? You attempt to follow God. You'll wind up missing it completely. And then you have to rely on God. It's a win-win.